For approximately 10 minutes, The Force Awakens gives off a darker, grittier vibe than we're used to in a Star Wars movie. Which, I admit, I wasn't really hot on. I don't think the simple black and white dichotomy of the Star Wars universe lends itself to imagery reminiscent of a Holocaust movie. But I had to give credit to the filmmakers for choosing a tone and sticking to it. Then this happened.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first? It's just very hard to understand you with all the...
Surgeon.
apparatus.
You wanna be serious? Fine. You wanna be funny? That's also fine. But you don't mix the two in a way that takes a dump on the tone of the scene. This is also the sequence where Finn has his change of heart. After losing his friend, partner, stranger, I don't know. He decides that war is evil and he has to buck town. A soldier defecting from the army because of his strong conscience? That's a story worth telling. But that's not the story they told. Next time we see Finn, he's releasing Poe from captivity.
Why are you helping me?
Because it's the right thing to do.
You need a pilot.
I need a pilot.
Why didn't he bring up the massacre at the village? That's a very strong reason for defecting, one that a resistance fighter should empathize with. That's the starting point of his dramatic arc anyway, right? No, it isn't. Because he only brings it up once, at the cantina with Rey. And even then, he switches topics and turns the conversation all about Rey. From this moment on, getting Rey seems to be Finn's more important goal. That's what gets him involved with the Resistance. It's not that the First Order is evil and genocidal and has to be stopped. No, they kidnap his squish and he has to go rescue her. Which makes this scene with Orange heading the cantina even more superfluous. The purpose here is to convince Finn he needs to stop running, use his skills and courage to help in the fight against the First Order. And if that really were the point of his character arc, this could be the beginning of a turning point. But of course, the only thing that actually gets him riled is Rey. The issue is that the movie gives both threats, his feelings for Rey and his defection from the First Order, almost equal time. Because of that, neither threat punches with a lot of weight behind it. Ultimately, we don't know what Finn wants most in life. We knew with Luke that he wanted to go off on adventures, be a force of good in the universe. Han wanted first to simply get by. Then he learned to care about other people and the cause greater than himself. Finn? At first it seems he wants to help bring an end to suffering, not to be involved with the ugliness of war. Until he starts killing indiscriminately himself. Does he want to find somebody to love? That goes nowhere either because this relationship oscillates between vaguely romantic and vaguely platonic. Here's a crazy idea, maybe I can't find a cohesive core in him because there is none. He goes along with the flow of a scene's given tone regardless of what was established before. That's not a character, it's a heap of incoherent traits that amount to nothing because all it cares about is pleasing people all the time. See, the problem with not having a steady, well-balanced tone throughout a story is that whenever you want to have a strong emotional scene, the result is too artificial. For example, the only hope this scene on the bridge has of working is by tapping into our nostalgic feelings for Han Solo. In other words, that we'd be sad to see him go because we know him from the original trilogy. The other factor the filmmakers are banking on is that we'd feel outrage that a son would kill his own father. But these are fictional characters, so whatever happens here, it's not a big deal. It's just an empty show that goes through all the motions of a dramatic death, but doesn't have any emotional underpinnings to hold it together. We don't know even a fraction of the history between these two. This is the first time we've seen them together. There's no emotional background to make this moment truly matter. Maybe they were going for an Obi-Wan moment. If that's the case, they missed the very obvious fact that for half the first movie, Luke and Obi-Wan developed a closer relationship than Rey and Han did. So of course Obi-Wan's death is going to have a greater emotional impact. It certainly helped that A New Hope had a more coherent tone and cohesive characters. We admire reliance, confidence, but people who switch identities depending on their environment and circumstances don't exhibit those traits. The same goes for art in general. You can be highbrow, banal, trashy, deep, shallow, whatever. But choose a main flavor and stick to it. Add all the spices you want, but the main flavor had better always be the same. Join me in part 4 to find out why Rey's a terrible character and a worst role model. Until then.